We live, huh?
Shabbat Shalawam. This is GMS Louisiana Saints with another live Shabbat lesson. But before we do anything, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahawah by him. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled and teach well, and peace and salutations to Yahawashi out there, diligently pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. And the topic for this Shabbat lesson is going to be the fact that when Yahawashi, Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, returns, he's not coming with a bouquet of roses or bubblegum dreams and lollipop tunes to give you people a hug. To bring straight death and destruction to not only you wicked Edomites, the so-called white people, for the madness you ruled this planet in, but 2/3 of you hard-headed Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who still refuse to hearken back under your glory, Yahawah by Yashim Yahawashi. And once that hammer really drops on you, you're going to wish you could go back to the moment you had right now to be able to get this truth while you could, because it's just going to be straight pain to the nerve endings until you get put to death and are reborn righteously in the kingdom with your head down out of shame. But we're going to get straight into it. Could somebody give me Amos 5:18?
I got it. I was holding it. You can bring it on.
Okay. Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you?
You shrimp po' boy eating Christians and you pork chop pastors giving out that false sense of security that when a sweet baby Jesus comes back, it's all going to be good, that you're not even going to go through anything. You're going to get raptured up into the sky and just be chilling in the clouds with a bunch of naked angels while people are going through it down here. You're sadly mistaken. If Yahawah didn't teach you to be that elect number, hey, it's going to come at you from every which way but loose, and you're not going to be able to escape. Keep going on.
To what end is it for you?
Keep going.
The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Con, keep going.
As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him.
Keep going.
Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him.
Hey, again, if the Most High is not dealing with you in that day, you're just going to fall into one calamity after another until you're put to death. Simple as that, and there's no way around it. Finish it out.
Verse 20, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it?
Hey, point blank, period. Nothing good coming at all, which again is why you should be spending this time in liberty if the Most High has opened your eyes to see this truth, to be drinking from these rivers of living waters while you still can. Because we can clearly see that we're at the cusp of Yahawashi's second coming. You can see these racial tensions brewing, wars and rumors of wars all across the planet, in the Middle East, down there in Venezuela with that whole oil tanker thing, those dams busting up in Michigan and flooding land, food shortages, famines, locusts, pestilences, plagues, etc., etc. And could somebody get me Matthew 10:34?
I got one real. This is Isaiah 13:9. It says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. He shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Hey, what it's saying, Ezekiel chapter 3, well, the end of chapter 2 going into 3, that this is a book of lamentations, mournings, and woe. If you truly understood these scriptures, you would know that the only thing that's coming before the kingdom of heaven is just pain and misery and death. As the elder brother brought out in Isaiah 13:9, the Lord cometh cruelly, not nicely or anything like that.
I got the word cruel in the Wealth Dictionary. It's just cruel, willfully causing pain or suffering to others, or feeling no concern about it.
Hey, what did it say in Proverbs chapter 1? In the day of your calamity, I'm going to laugh at you. Hey, Yahawah and Yahawashi are cracking their knuckles right now with a grin on their face, ready to enact that judgment for all the wickedness you people have been committing on this planet. And it's even going to be worse because they're giving you plenty of time to hear this word and come back to your power. Hey, Elder Abba Bivens came onto the scene in the late 60s, early 70s, and it's just been rolling forth until this very day in 2020, damn near 40 to 50 years later. So there's going to be no excuse in that day. There's going to be no Lord, did I not do this or whoopty-woo or whatever.
Yeah.
Got that Matthews for you.
Fine.
Matthews 10 and 34. It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
And that's in red letters. That's Yahawashi speaking. That cruel Lord coming not with peace, but with the sword. And what does the sword do? It cuts asunder. It's a weapon of war. And if you've seen the Son, then you've seen the Father. And what's it say in Leviticus chapter 15? The Most High is a man of war. So obviously Yahawashi is the son of war, so to speak. And could somebody get now? Could we go to Revelation 19, start at 11, and go down to 15?
Got it. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Read that last part again.
And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Make war. Think not that I have come to bring peace, but the sword. This person sitting upon the white horse is Yahawashi returning in that massive fathership chariot that Esdras couldn't see the end of in 2nd Esdras 13. And Yahawashi is going to return right when those nuclear missiles start firing, just so you know what the times are. And then in the midst of the elect getting beamed up and those nuclear missiles detonating, Yahawashi is going to be taking pot shots at you people with that concentrated heat for those so-called laser beams. And don't forget that leading all the way up until that, there's going to be those race wars, those pestilences, those famines, world wars, martial law, et cetera, et cetera. Keep going on.
Just, for edification, that horse represents dominion and rulership, and the white represents purity. That's why Esau is referred to as having the red horse. Yahawashi is coming with that pure white dominion, that truth that comes with the commandments, the faith, everything. Verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but him himself.
Hey, and that the many crowns on his head is symbolic of him coming to take away the rulership of all you heathens, chiefly you Edomites, who have been ruling this world completely upside down and in madness for the past 500 years. Keep going on.
Verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High.
Now, could somebody get me Isaiah? We're going to jump to Isaiah 63, read verse 1 to 4 real quick. And a lot of that blood that his vesture is going to be dipped in is the blood of you Edomites. Because not only is the Most High mainly coming to give judgment to you 2/3, but he's coming again to mainly take away the rulership from Esau, Edom, that red horse. Because you can read all throughout the scriptures, and the main culprit that's at the head of everything, turning the planet upside down and afflicting Israel is Esau, Edom, Idumea, Basra, etc., etc.
I got you a real quick one to go with the. Oh, you got it.
Now I got the Isaiah 63 for you.
Khan, you can get yours real quick, Amawad.
Khan, this is to back up Revelation 19 and 12, what the brother said about Yahawashi coming with the many crowns. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And they were giving him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and a kingdom which shall not be destroyed. It says all people, man, all nations, man. And when you read Revelation,
Finish your point out?
Yeah, when you read Revelation 2 and 26, we're co-heirs with that. So, yeah, that's it.
Khan. And hey, that goes into Daniel chapter 2, that great millstone being cast to knock away the miry clay and iron feet of the statue, which is that fourth beast, which is this reincarnated Roman Empire, Esau, Edom's last rulership. Somebody got the Isaiah 63?
Yeah, I got
it. This Isaiah. You'll make a point.
No, I was just saying I got a precept after you.
Like Khan, this Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1. It says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?
Keep going.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
Yahawashi HaMashiach. Keep going out.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in a wine fat?
Hey, and when you see people treading grapes in that big vat, what are they covered in? The blood of the grapes, that really dark red color as they're smashing it down. And this is symbolic of the mass death and destruction that Yahawashi is bringing to the rulership of you Edomites, which goes back into that Revelation 19 and 13, where it says his vesture was dipped in blood. Keep going out.
I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
Finish verse 4.
For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come.
Hey, and Yahawashi has been waiting 2,000 years to come and get his licks back on you Edomites and you wicked 2/3 Israelites. And we know that 1,000 years is as a day to the Lord. So really, Yahawashi has only been waiting 2 days to come back. And with major wounds like that on this side, it takes more than just 2 days to heal. So Yahawashi is spiritually still has those open wounds and is still licking them, and still has that salt in his eyes out of just pure anger and vengeance.
Yeah, I got one to back up what you're saying. This Revelations 14:14. I'm gonna read down. It says, and I look and behold a white cloud, and one upon upon the cloud one said unto the Son of Man, given on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. All right, and it says, another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat up on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, and the harvest of the earth is ripe. He that sit up on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was ripe. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven. He also having a sickle, a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple. All right. Hold on, I messed it up. 18 says, and another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel,
I was just going to say, and what do you think those grapes are? They're people. And as we just read in Isaiah chapter 63, Yahawashi is going to have his garments symbolically covered from stomping on all those grapes.
Right. And it says, and the angel thrust in his sickle unto the earth, and gathered the vines of the earth, and cast it unto the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. All right.
Hey.
And this point, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's ultimately those nuclear missiles as well as the laser beams from the chariot of the Most High.
All right. And it says, verse 20, it says, and the winepress was trodden without the city. All right. And blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle. All right. By the space of 1,600 furlongs.
Hey, that's one of my personal favorites, because when you go into some of the other translations, I believe that 1,600 furlongs translates to about 200 miles. Hey, that's a lot of death and destruction coming. And could somebody get me a real quick Jeremiah? Somebody give me Jeremiah 25 and 31 real quick, just to go with this.
I'll get it.
I'm gonna skip. It's in the blue letter, so you can make the example to Jake, man, because Jake don't really believe, man. You're gonna be destruction for miles and miles, man. All right. I'm on it right here. I think it's which word it is. I think it's the word either right or space. I'm gonna try to find it out. To show the point, man.
Con.
Nah,
Hey, Ariel, before you get your precept, could you get that Jeremiah 25 and 31 real quick?
I got it out.
Con, the water.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, said the Lord.
Con, keep going.
Verse 32. Thus said the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth.
Again, that evil going from nation to nation is going to be these race wars, these civil wars, famines, pestilences, world wars, etc., etc. And ultimately, the culmination of that is going to be that whirlwind, those nuclear missiles, and that concentrated heat from the chariots. Finish it out with 32 up.
Con, you mean 33?
Con.
Verse 33, and the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Hey, and when you see shit on the ground, you don't give a second thought to it. That's how much death and destruction is going to be in that day. Dead bodies are going to be so plentiful that it's just going to become a natural part of the scenery. And that goes back, and the dead body, the destruction of the Lord from one end of the earth into the other plays back into that Revelation 14 and 20, where it says, the blood shall be even unto the horse's bridle by the space of 1,600 furlongs. And I got the translation for that 1,600 furlongs on a Bible Hub. This is the Good News translation of it. The grapes were squeezed out in the winepress outside the city, and blood came out of the winepress in a flood 200 miles long and about 5 feet deep.
No, 5 feet kind of deep, man. Shit. We go to pools and shit like that. Most pools about 4 feet, 5 feet deep, man. That's pretty deep.
You can drown in 5 feet.
Oh yeah.
Hey, and most of you jakes don't know how to swim anyway, so you ain't gonna be making it out of this coming destruction.
Exactly.
I got you, son.
Con, you got it, Ariel.
This Isaiah 47 and 8. It says, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, saying in thine heart, I am, and none besides me. I shall not sit at a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment in the day. The loss of children in widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and of great abundance of thy enchantment.
In that chapter, Isaiah 47 is talking about Babylon the Great, as well as the spiritual Basra, the capital city of the Edomites, the United States of America. In 1 hour, when those nuclear missiles are fired, there's going to be death of men, women, and children. If you ain't beamed up on a chariot, once those missiles start flying, hey, you're only going to come back in the kingdom of heaven.
It says, for thou hast trusted in thine wickedness, for thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none besides me.
Hey, that man whose comings are after the workings of Satan, the elites of you Edomites. For the longest time, you thought that just because you had that left-handed witchcraft on your side with all your symbolism and your media and propaganda, that you were going to last forever and live deliciously and never see widowhood. You really thought that Satan was really helping you out. when Satan is just the top left-handed angel of the Most High, and the Most High's been using him to manipulate you to get you right in the crosshairs of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi's destruction, as it says in Revelation chapter 18. Her wickedness has reached unto the heavens.
Got one more precept. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know it from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
Hey, there's going to be no more rebuilding of the desolate places or make America great again. We're living in the death throes of America. There's no economic miracles that are coming, no renewed patriotism or anything like that. America and you Edomites as a whole have reached the bounds that you cannot pass. That's why your whole identity and existence is crumbling and falling apart right around you.
Got something.
I got one after you, Kaya.
You was finished with yours, Ariel?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, this Jeremiah 51 and 53. It says, though Babylon shall mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, say Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi.
Hey, read the first part again real quick.
It says, though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet
Hold it
from
right there,
me,
Hold it right there, okay. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle and set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahawah. Trump just recently announced that the Space Force is officially activated. They had a flag ceremony and everything, and they've got commercials telling people to enlist in the Space Force. The Space Force is ultimately to try to fight against Yahawashi, which is futile, because Yahawashi was the one that used Satan to put the idea in your head to even create these weapons for your Space Force. So how are you going to fight against the person that gave you the weapons to begin with? Just complete madness. Going to show that your enchantments have failed you, as it says back in Isaiah 47.
Yeah, Yahawashi gave Esau his blessing, man.
Khan.
That's who you're fighting.
I got more. You were finished.
Khan, you got it.
I'm gonna get that word spoilers. It says, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her. This
Strong's H 7703. Shaddad.
It says to deal violently with, despoil, devastate, ruin, destroy, spoil. It says to be utterly ruined, to assault, to violently destroy. It says in a strong definition, to be barely, like powerful, to ravage, to oppress, rob, or spoil, lay waste. So the Lord's intentions is to pretty much make Babylon a memorial in the earth, man. A memorial for a place where he literally put his feet on, man. You know you stump a bug out and you squash him, and you turn your feet from right to left. Hey, that's what he gonna do, Babylon, man. All right, it's gonna be that simple. It says a sound of a cry coming from Babylon and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Because when you go in Numbers, the Lord said that I should have war with Amalek from generation to generation. But this war right here is going to be the war of all wars. It tell you in Revelation, the first war is gone, and the second and third coming. Wait.
Behold, the third coming quickly.
Yeah. So this third war is the ultimate war. All right. Though the Lord been warring with Amalek from the beginning, this time he about to really pretty much wipe him out, man. All right. It says because Yahawashi.
If I can make a point real quick, the reason the Most High's got a major evil eye towards Amalek, because you Amalekite Edomites, or so-called Jewish people, were the first nation to come against Israel once they were fleeing out of the land of Egypt. And up until this very day, it's been you international bankers who are Amalekites who have been having their foot on the neck of the nation of Israel.
Yeah. Since Jake had to pass through the land of Edom, man, the Lord protected him to get through there. But ever since then, he been after us, man. The Lord took that anger off him so Jake could get through. But after that, man, he been behind him ever since, man. You know, it says 55, because Yahawashi has spoiled Babylon and destroyed her. And destroyed out of her the great voice. When her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of their voice is uttered. Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken, for Yahawashi with power of recompense shall surely requite. You got it, huh?
John, could somebody get me Jeremiah 50 verse 9, and then somebody else get me Isaiah chapter 13, start at 19, because we know that the ultimate spoiler, we know that the ultimate spoiler is Yahawashi, but those other spoilers that Yahawashi are going to be using are these heathen nations to come against Shalawam, and the chief heathen nation is going to be another tribe of Edomites, the Russians, who are biblically known as the North Country, as well as the spiritual Medes and Gog and Magog.
I got one more precept, if I can read 57. It says, and I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, said the king, whose name is Yahawashi.
God, point blank, period. Hey, and we're seeing the princes of Esau getting made drunk right now. That left-hand magic is starting to leave them. That's why their work's becoming more and more sloppy when they try to come against this truth. You got this one wicked nigger out here known as Grandmaster J, who's in this whole Black Power thing, talking about I'm in the NFAC and we're gonna go to Minneapolis, to where Ahmaud Arbery was shot with our AR-15s. But when you really examine him, you'll see that he's just another agent used to come against this truth. Not only was he in a picture with Donald Trump, but now he's talking about how Yahweh is on his side and that they're going to come against these Edomites. What is a Jake that has book about the Anunnaki and space people know about Edomites? Just complete madness. And then of course you got this wacky tacky agent Vocab Balone still trying to come against the Hebrew Israelites, coming up with all these agendas, talking about these bug outs that have committed murders. That shooting in New Jersey, which was thoroughly debunked by the men of the Lord. Hey, Esau doesn't have the salt anymore. He's just stale and musty.
You said Isaiah, what again?
Isaiah 13 started 19. But before you get that, can somebody get me Jeremiah 50 verse 9?
Gotcha. Just the book
real quick, because again, those spoilers, besides ultimately being Yahawashi or these other heathen nations, chiefly the Russians.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country.
An assembly of great nations, an assembly of great spoilers from the north country, Russia. And just a couple of weeks ago, you had the U.S. and NATO, Slovakia. Yeah, the U.S. and NATO moved their Navy forces up into the Arctic Ocean to combat Russia's presence in the Arctic Ocean. And that's why Russia is known as the North Country in the scriptures, because north of the United States is Canada, then the Arctic Ocean, and then Russia. And when Russia shoots its nuclear missiles onto the U.S., them going over the Arctic Ocean in the north is going to be the shortest trajectory to hit its target in the U.S. And also that assembly of great nations is not only Russia's allies like Iran and China and North Korea, but also the allies of the U.S. like the UK, Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, Saudi Arabia, et cetera, who are going to turn against America or Babylon in that day and ally themselves with the North Country to take that whore with the fire.
As we read in Revelation 19 and 12, Yahawashi is going to come back with many crowns. The scripture further proves that those crowns are going to be from him taking down other nations. It's going to say, For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
And those arrows are those nuclear tipped ICBMs. Because what you have to remember is when the prophets saw these visions thousands of years ago, do you think they knew what a ICBM was, the intercontinental ballistic missile? No. So they described it the best way they could with weapons of war they knew during their time: arrows, spears, glittering swords, javelins, etc., etc. Khan. And just to further back up the brother Kaya, when he was talking about how Babylon's going to be taken and made a desolate land that the Most High is going to set his feet on, give me that Isaiah 13 and 19, Baba Dashah.
I got one real fast to make the example about how the men of the Lord only describe what the closest they can possibly can for like missiles and things of that nature for these times, man. This is real quick. This is Job 20 and 22. It says, hold on. It says, in the fulfillment of his, my bad, I'm reading the wrong one. Let me go up. All right. This is Job 20 and 22 or 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come up against him. When he is about to go ahead.
Make a point real quick. Him being in the fullness of his sufficiency is Esau Edom thinking he accomplished his new world order by mandatorily implementing the mark of the beast, which is the RFID/NFC microchip implant. Once the elites of these Edomites have done that, they think that they'll be able to just lay back and sail into the sunset of their new world order. But as it said, the hand of the wicked shall be upon them. And these wicked are these other heathens, that assembly of great nations from the north country coming against Babylon in that day.
It says, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fears of his wrath upon him and shall rain upon him while he is eating. All right. And this is the point the brother was making. This is what Job was seeing back then. I mean, he was seeing back then what we know today as being missiles. All right. ICBM nuclear missiles. He said he shall flee from the iron bow. My bad. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through.
Hey, and what does a missile look like? An iron arrow and a bow of steel. Because when you got to visualize it, when you look, say you were living back then and you saw that missile flying through the sky, it looked like an iron arrow. And when he saw the silo, he would describe it as a steel bow, because the silo is made out of steel and it opens up and shoots out the arrow.
Right, and he goes on to say this: it is drawn, it come out of a body, the silo. Yea, the glittering sword coming out of the gall, terrors are upon him.
Gone. Does it say something about fire later on in it?
Yeah. You might be thinking about Job. Let me see. All right, yeah. You're right. 26. It says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle.
Hey, a fire not blown, because that nuclear destruction and energy is compacted within that missile. So he didn't see somebody kindling a fire. He just saw the missile hit its target, and then the fire came. A fire not blown.
Yeah, which goes into the atom and everything, man. How the Most High he saw the smarts to actually make an atom, to make that warhead, man. Only the Most High got to be dealing with you, man, to come up with some shit like that, man.
Con. But hey, Con. I'm gonna just make a point, and then you got it. But hey, that iron bow shot out of that iron arrow shot out of that steel bow is gonna be 200 million nuclear missiles, which is gonna hit the United States of America, Babylon the Great. Which after that fire not blown is kindled, It's going to turn it into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea, and then a desolate wasteland afterwards, as it says in that Isaiah chapter 13. Well, actually, can you start up at verse 17?
I got that. I had that the Isaiah 54:16 for the elder, that he said the Lord got to be dealing with you in order to create the nuclear weapon.
Go ahead with it.
It is Isaiah 54:16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in a fire, and bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy."
Yeah, real quick, which goes into the nuclear scientists, man. All right, because back then you had gunsmiths, you had different smiths that created, different axes and weapons and shit like that. But hey, yeah, it was many of those, but only the Lord would put it on the minds of the scientists to make atoms, man. All right, that's why you come up with a Fat Man and Little Boy, which was Robert Oppenheimer going into this other guy too. Show you how the Lord spiritual, man. It's another guy by the name of Esau, man. I forgot his name. Some of you brothers can find it for me. It's a dude named Esau who created one of the weapons too, man. I don't get it. I think his name is John Esau, some shit like that.
You mentioned something about them creating silversmiths and goldsmiths. You talking about?
Well, I said about them. Back then you had a lot of gunsmiths and guys that created weapons used to put the fire in the furnace and hammer it.
Right,
forge different weapons, But now the Most High that turned those different people back then into what? Scientists, man, to make that iron boat,
That's like the workers in brass, right? I'm asking you because I know a scripture that in Wisdom of Solomon. All right, this Wisdom of Solomon 15:9, it says, "Notwithstanding," I read 8, "and employing his labors lewdly, he maketh a vain god of the same clay, even he which a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after returned to the same, out of the which he was taken, when his life which was lent him shall be demanded." This the point. "Notwithstanding his carriers, not that he shall have much labor, nor that his life is short, but strive it to excel goldsmiths and silversmiths, and endeavor it to do like the workers in brass." Because you mentioned, them working in brass, they molten the brass down, which, you stick them coals in there, it moltens the brass, which turns it into, like you say, gold, like plated, like that steel, it makes the steel. It says, "and counted it to glory to make counterfeit things." But I just brought that out because I knew that scripture was in Wisdom of Solomon 15. You got it, right?
Hey, was that his name, Mark? Robert Abraham Esau?
Yeah, that's him.
Hey, that's funny. His middle name was Abraham, and his last name was Esau.
Wrong.
Can't make this up.
Yeah, I said, show you how funny the Most High is, man.
Whenever you want this 13, I got.
You got it.
Yeah, I think he was over Germany's nuclear energy projects, man.
And I think what's his name? Einstein had something to do with the mathematics behind the atomic bomb too, and he was an Amalekite.
Yeah, let me show you this devil too, man. Boy, the Most High cold, boy. This how that devil look, man. That's him right here.
Yep.
A straight goon.
Yeah, face of mother can love right there, man.
Gone. Hey, for all we know, he could have been the original Esau that got the blessing of the sword. since he had a hand in creating that ultimate sword.
Yeah, Copper Smith.
This Isaiah 13 and 17, it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it."
Hey, and again, besides being known as the North Country and Gog and Magog, those Medes are speaking of the Russians. They're the spiritual Medes. Hey, and them not regarding gold and silver is the Most High putting it in the spirit on their day to push that button and let those nukes fly. Once the Most High finally gives the go-ahead for them to do that, nothing is going to avert them from doing it. No peace treaties or peace talks or weapons bans or anything like that. And you've been seeing over the past couple of years that all these nuclear treaties that were put in place at the end of the Cold War, such as the INF, or the Intermediate Nuclear Forces Treaty, the Open Skies Treaty, New START, et cetera, have either been canceled or fallen apart. And both nations are talking about building up their nuclear arsenals again. An article just came out of President Donald Trump talking about how the U.S. is planning on restarting nuclear tests again in the next couple of months. And they haven't had a nuclear test since 1992. Is that boy right there, Robert Abraham Esau?
Yeah.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 50, 29.
I'm sorry, sir. Can't seem to get rid of it.
5, 4, 3,
He's coming back, man.
1, 49, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30, 29, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12,
And that countdown is going on in the spirit world right now.
7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, he into it too, man. Yeah,
Hey.
man. He's so into it, boy.
Fast Francis.
Hey, how can you not, at this point, how can you not see that this man's the devil and Satan when he literally, when it looked like he had like an orgasm from watching a weapon of mass destruction go off, just complete madness. And then what did Robert J. Oppenheimer say after he saw the nuclear detonation? "I've become the destroyer of worlds," which plays into Revelation 6 verse 4, that red horse that was given the great sword to take peace from the earth.
I finished off Jeremiah 50. Goes right along with the.
I still reading this Isaiah 13.
Okay. Yeah.
This Isaiah 13 and 18. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Hey, that bow of steel, and their eyes shall not spare children, as you brought out in that Isaiah chapter 47. In 1 hour shall thou see the loss of children and widowhood.
It says, and Babylon, the glory of kingdom of the Chaldean excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Hey,
With
and
that, with that fire.
how did the Most High overthrow ancient Sodom and Gomorrah with fire and brimstone from the sky? And we know that besides being known as Babylon the Great, America is also known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt, as pursuant to Revelation 11, verse 8. So the Most High is going to overthrow this modern Sodom and Gomorrah with modern fire and brimstone from the sky, those nuclear tipped ICBMs.
I got them right here. Let me see something. So everybody, you can see on the screen. Let me see. I think it is it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the dead silence of the morning, at 5:29:45 Mountain War time, the Jornada del Muerto was bathed in an intense flash of a light that man had only seen from the stars.
He knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu.
That's the devil, bro.
Great.
Oh,
He should do his duty, and to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Goes without that, one way or another.
Hey, and Esau enjoys being known as the bringer of death and destruction. These Edomites are always making quotes about being the baddest guy on the block. Oh, I'm the destroyer of worlds, etc., etc.
hey, if I could say, they spent countless hours building up these nuclear weapons, man. All right, and they sitting there to basically, I mean, little do they know that they're making it for their own demise, man. And guess what? They spent countless hours, billions and trillions of dollars on their on these nuclear weapons, man. These ICBM missiles, man. All right, real quick. Let me get a precept real quick. This is Sirach 38:27. It says, "So every carpenter and workmaster that labor at night and day," because they labor night and day. All right, to the Lord got their minds working around the clock to build the very thing that's gonna take them out, man. It says, "And they that cut and grave seals and are diligent to make great variety." What they got the mother? I mean, what Russia got the mother bomb? Not the
America, they got the Moab.
Yeah, they got the Moab. Hey, they making a variety of things to commit suicide with, man. They ain't just, they going out in style. They ain't just making simple ones, man. They making plenty.
Hey, and Russia's got the Satan 1 and Satan.
Exactly.
And they got one called the sickle, man.
The sickle.
Come on.
How spiritual that is, man. They got a missile called the sickle, which we just read the scriptures earlier where the Lord said he told the angel to thrust in his sickle, man.
Yep.
The harvest is great, man. It's all spiritual.
It's lucky.
And I think on one of the, if I can remember, a couple of years back, on one of the missiles they just created, I believe it was Satan 2. You know how you look at the Maserati, what they call that thing, man? The trident. That all goes into Satan, man. The trident, the emblem for the trident, that goes into Satan, man. So Esau knows what his job is, man. He knows what he needs to do, man. And he knows who he is.
Hey, with that little sign on that thing, make a fork. Hey, stick a fork in him when he's done, man. When it's done, what you do? poke the fork in them. That's the little thing in the grill on a Maserati. It says, and are diligent to make a great variety and give to themselves to counterfeit imagery. Imagery and watch to finish a work. The smith also sitting by the anvil and considering the ironwork and the vapor of the fire wasted his flesh, and he fighted with the heat of the furnace. The noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He set in his mind to finish his work and watch it to polish it perfectly. Because these scientists have the measurements of the Most High. They got the knowledge from the Most High on how to build these instruments, man. These weapons of war, mass destruction. They spending countless hours. People are losing their lives while they building that bitch. They've been building them so long, bro. People are dying. Other generations are coming in. All right, they getting busy, man. You know, so they working around the clock, man, to make to the Most High is working around the clock, man, to take these people out of rulership, man. You got to do it.
I want to show something too, man, because the Most High got to be dealing with you to understand shit like this, man.
Come.
You know, this Albert Einstein. I wish I could zoom it in closer. Look at this goddamn board, man. Zoom it in.
That's like a whole nother language.
Yep.
Yeah, man. The Most High got to be dealing with you, man, to understand. Hold on. Look at that board, man. Got Z, 5, 2, M. The Most High got to be dealing with you, man, on another level. All right, to understand how the schematics on how to, put the right formulas and shit together to make a missile, man.
They're actually dealing with elements, man. They're putting the elements of the earth, and like you said, in order to know that, the Most High got to be working with you, man. They're actually combining the elements, man. Hydrogen and they combining them together, man, to make an explosion, man.
Yeah.
To create that mushroom cloud, man. Like you said, the knowledge of the Lord gotta be within your thoughts, man.
Let me see.
But knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. So.
Yeah. But the Lord created it. The Lord created it. Yeah, he said, I created the smith that blew the coal in the fire. I did it. Me. Like, I'm making them, like, man, the scientists don't got no life, man. They got to dedicate their life to their work.
Yeah, the Lord got to be dealing with you with this right here, man. Different metals, different elements, man. How certain these elements react different ways with others, man. You gotta know. The Lord gotta be dealing with you, man. Which we're gonna get that level, man.
Yep.
Hey, with our spiritual bodies, we're gonna be able to harness that in the palm of our hands. We're not gonna need to create machines to be able to harness that power.
Right.
Yep.
We're not gonna destroy the earth either.
Right. We're gonna make it better. It's gonna be in its perfection.
Yeah, man.
You finished with that?
I had one too. Yeah, done.
Yeah.
I just wanted to finish with Jeremiah 50 because it goes into the desolation. This is verse.
Wait a second, Aria, reread 18 and go down to finish it off with 20.
Okay. Isaiah 13 and 18. It says their bows.
19.
All right. Isaiah 13 and 19. It says, in Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldees, excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelled in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabians pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their foes there.
Again, America, when those missiles hit, it's going to become the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea. And then afterward, a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland. It's going to be a massive desert. The line is not going to go through it. So you're not going to be able to see, oh, this is where Mount Rushmore was. This is where Washington, D.C. was. This is where the Grand Canyon was in New York City. Nothing, just an endless, barren desert where only desert creatures are going to dwell in. And it's going to stand as the memorial as to what a wicked kingdom looked like and how not to govern the earth, and what the judgment was for governing the earth, not by the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh by Yahawashi.
That was it. That was it.
All right, this is back in Jeremiah 50, verse, I'll start at 13. Because of the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hissed at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow,
God.
All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. Shoot against round about.
Well, I was just going to say her sins have reached up to the heavens. It's that big melting pot that's bubbling at the top and it's about to bubble over.
Yeah. Shoot against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. Take vengeance upon her. As she have done, do unto her.
Hey, in righteousness doth he judge and make war, coming back with that vesture dipped in blood to take the many crowns.
I got you something too, brother.
After
you, y'all brothers get your.
Hey, Amawad, hold for me back in Revelation chapter 19. Start again at verse 13 and then go down to 15 after the other brothers get their precepts.
Gotcha.
This is Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Khan, you got it out.
For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. And I want to get that word plead out of the Strong's.
Khan.
Strong's H 8199. Shaphat.
All right, and it says to judge, govern, vindicate, punish, to act as a lawgiver or judge, to rule, to decide controversy, to execute judgment, condemning and punishing. It says at theopanic advent for final judgment, to enter into controversy, plead, have controversy together, to be judged. That's right, man. That's what the Lord is going to come with, those chariots, man, with those ICBM nuclear missiles, those 200 millions of missiles, man, judging this place, man. Plead with all flesh, man, because the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the earth, man. All right, an outright controversy, and he's making it blatant to the eyes of the inhabitants of the earth, man. If you don't see it now, when are you going to see it, man? When you caught up in that lake of fire and was looking and beholding your destruction out of that sea of glass, man, don't wait until then, man. Repent, for the time of the Lord and the day of the Lord is at hand, man. You got it up.
Khan, and what, if I could say real quick, and what word has Shaphat in it? That valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahawashi, or Yahweh's judgment, where the Most High is ultimately gathering the militaries of all these heathen nations down into that Middle Eastern region for this ultimate judgment.
That's right.
Hey, we're gonna cut it to you straight and dry, man. We giving you the straight skinny. The windows of heaven is open, man. All right. Man, the Lord about to, you know, the last time the Lord opened the windows of heaven, it rained on the earth and it didn't stop, man. All right. So the Lord have opened the windows of heaven. What you think about to come out of them now? Hey, this the second deck, man. All right. Hey, we can't get it. It don't get no. It can't. It don't. What Chris Tucker said. This is right. It can't get no righter, man.
That's right.
You see? But this Joel 2. I'm gonna start from the top. It says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi coming, for it is nigh at hand." A day of darkness.
Hey, I'm gonna be making you. You know, I like this Joel chapter 2. There's gonna be a lot of stopping here and making some points. But who's blowing that trumpet right now? The men you're seeing on this live stream. The men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, diligently pushing this word through these video epistles, as well as going out there on the highways and byways to give the nation of Israel warning and judgment, as well as to tell you heathen nations what your ultimate end is.
It says a day of darkness. This is the end. We are reading the script where the movie ends right here, man. I mean, Jake just throwing popcorn back and just getting into the movie. No, we at the end of the movie, man. Jake tripping, man. Jake been talking on the phone, texting and all that while the movie been going, man. It's at its climax, man. It says a day of darkness and glooming, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as a morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there had not been ever the light, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
And that great people and a strong are those nuclear missiles. And where it says that there had not ever been the light, that's talking about how these nuclear weapons came about very recently, starting with those atomic bombs about 90 years ago with World War II. And where it says, and there shall not be any afterwards. Once these nuclear missiles are shot, every single one is going to be used. One's not going to be waiting in a silo somewhere for the men of the Lord to come find. Their armory is going to be completely emptied.
Beautiful.
It's going to make Hiroshima and Nagasaki look like a fucking walk in the park, man. No, it's about that atomic bomb going to be a thought of the past. With the law about to unleash. Hey, the windows of heaven is open. Jake. It says a fire devour it before them, and behind them a flame burn it. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them.
Hey, and what army of people do you know that can turn an entire land into a desolate wilderness? That's a rhetorical question. Nobody. The only thing that can do that is a nuclear missile, where it says a fire devoureth before them. That's talking about that nuclear tipped warhead on that missile, that fire before them, and that flame that burns behind them is when they detonate and turn that land from the land of Eden, where everything looks pristine. You've got cities, you've got animals and people walking their dogs in the park. It turns it afterwards into that desolate wilderness, into that wasteland, like that video game Fallout or those Mad Max movies.
I got the mushroom clouds.
I
got a precept to go with that real quick. This is Jeremiah 25 and 31. It says, a noise to come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, says the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall come forth from the nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be risen up from the coast of the earth, and the slain of the Lord shall be at that day one end of the earth into the other of the earth. They shall not be lamented, nor gathered, nor buried. They shall be as dung, which is shit, man, upon the earth. Another word for shit, man.
Hey, back in that Revelation 14 you brought out, the blood shall be as high as the horse's bridle and a 2,000 furlongs. And when we went to the translation for that, it was 5 feet high and 200 miles long.
Yeah, man.
And it's gonna be stinking out here.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna smell like the whole world gonna smell like ass. Stinky ass.
Musty.
The whole world do. Not a little room or a little small area. The whole world gonna smell like musty ass. Hey, that's the spirit.
And what do farts have in them? Sulfur. And what's sulfur? Fire.
It says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. Power. Then we're gonna have power behind them, Mike. Some serious power, like he said. It's gonna be 200 miles, bro. If I'm not mistaken, I believe 200 miles is, bro. That take probably two, 3 states out at a time, right?
No, that's 200 miles, like from here to Lafayette.
To Lafayette?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, Lake Charles. Shit.
It's a little further. It's a little further than that.
Because from New Orleans to Baton Rouge is 100 miles. All right. Then from every
it's 63. It's 63.
Well, like it's far as fuck.
We just gonna say that. Fuck it, as far as fuck. But yeah, that's like a state. That's like a state at least down there.
And I remember once the brothers, we went through we were going through the distance and the percentage of power that Satan 2 did, and it was like you would feel say you were in New Orleans and the Satan 2 went off, you would feel the burn. You would get 3rd-degree burns if you were in Baton Rouge. And Satan's not just going to be one missile; it's going to be multiple
warheads in it. Yep.
In that one big head.
Damn. It says the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on top of the mountain shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble as a strong people and battle array.
Again, when the prophet Joel saw this vision, he didn't know what a nuclear missile was, so he described it as charioteers and horsemen and men of war.
It says, before their face, the people shall be much pained. Faces shall gather blackness.
And I think when you go into that word blackness, it means like a heat, a glowing. It's like people just getting lit up and turned to ash.
The eyes gonna consume them wearing they holes, and they flesh just gonna be consumed away, man. It says
somebody needs to get that one on deck. We got to bring that one out.
It says they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their rank.
Hey, and to the brother on the comment section, Aaron Boylan, I saw earlier that you posted that the Spirit of the Most High is going to be on those missiles. That's what it's talking about right here, where they're not going to break their ranks nor thrust into each other. The Spirit of the Most High is going to be on these missiles, and these angels are going to be guiding them to go exactly where they need to go, and they're going to go without a hitch. They're not going to hit the ocean or anything like that. Wherever they're supposed to go, those anti-missile defense systems are going to fail, and they're going to hit the target bullseye.
Yeah, because even in the scripture in Isaiah, it goes into how the Most High gonna allow Esau's defense system to fail. And that goes into the word brigadine in the scriptures, man. All right, and their brigadine is gonna fail, man. And they got, and like I say, Esau, the Russian Edomites got missiles now. They can, they got another stealth jet that they made, and the motherfucker supposed to got stealth missiles on it, man. It cannot even be detected. It's like some out of this world shit, man. Just like this other one, there's another missile they call. It's another missile, I can't remember the name, but it reminds me, because the elders did a video on it years ago. It goes into that fiery serpent. Because this missile here, when you shoot another missile at it, it can shake it in midair and go different ways and shit, man. That's why it's considered the fiery serpent. Because when a serpent is going, it's going like this, right? That's how a snake gets around. It slithers, man. So that's what that missile is gonna be able to do, man. It's gonna penetrate, this underworld kingdom, man. Which 200 million of them gonna do it, man. If you got one defense system, how can you stop 200 million missiles, man?
Yeah, that's overkill.
You can't.
That law going to overdrive.
And just to back the elder brother up, the Russians came out with a new weapon, a new missile delivery system called a hypersonic glider, which breaks. I think I can't remember which Mach, but it breaks one of the Machs to where like no missile defense system that anybody has right now can stop this missile, and it cuts the delivery time in half. So say a missile would take an hour to get somewhere, it cuts it in half by 30 minutes. So it can get to.
That's scripture. That's scripture. Let me get that scripture.
Khan. And what's beautiful is that the hypersonic glider, they call it the avant-garde system. And when you look up the definition for avant-garde, it says a new and unusual or experimental ideas, especially in the arts or the people introducing them. And an example, works by artists of the Russian avant-garde. So hey, this avant-garde is going to be the one of the crowning achievements of these Russians destroying America and Yahawashi destroying Babylon.
Hey, Satan is divided against Satan, man.
Satan 2.
What is Satan 2? 1 and 2. The rest is crazy. The Most High is everything, bro. He humorous, he sarcastic, he everything. Like, bro, like I named the guy that created his name Roman Abraham Esau. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I think it's Revelation 8:1 when it talks about, and when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about a half hour. A half an hour, man. That's 30 minutes, man.
Con.
No, what the fuck?
Con, so that missile delivery time is scriptural. A half an hour, 30 minutes to go from wherever it's at in Russia to hit America.
And let's get some understanding of this, man. You know, and all you flat earthers out there. All right, the world is a globe, okay? Just say, no, you know. Let me see if I can put it up on the screen, man. You know, I hope I can put it up on the screen. You know, so to get the point out. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have to get this technical with a nigga, but hey. Let me get it, man. I think we did this before. When you look at those missiles, when you look at America, you got North America, you got Canada. What's on the other? When you go to the top, what's up there on the other side, man? What's up there on the other side? You got Russia.
Con.
So, in a nigga head, he think he got to shoot a missiles from Russia over Asia, you know, over Japan and Hong Kong to get here, man. You shoot the motherfucker over the top, man. It's messing up. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. And you ain't gotta do, you know, go that far to really do some shit out here, man.
What happened to them niggas? The flat earth niggas.
They fell off the side.
Oh, they fell off the side.
Yeah, they fell off the side of the earth, man.
It's like Pac-Man, they're gonna come back from the other side and just pop up, like, you know. Madness.
Yeah, here you go.
Mischievous madness.
You shouldn't have to go this far with a nigga though, but hey, it is what it is, man. You got an earth like this. You got this America right here. But what's on the other side like when you go to the top, what's on the other side of America right here? This is all Russia. But they shoot the motherfuckers missiles all on top over here, man. You gotta go way this way and go around the earth. It's gonna shoot over here. 30 minutes, man. That's not hard, you know. Hey, why would I shoot a missile if I'm in Russia? Why would I shoot a missile way across Africa, way across all this goddamn water to get over here? No, to shoot the bitch over the top. And it makes perfectly sense with the Bible, man.
Gone. And hey, last year, Russia made headlines because they started doing new nuclear missile tests up in the Arctic. Hey, they're getting ready. The North Country, the Medes are getting ready to shoot those cruel arrows onto Babylon.
Hey man, the Lord is doing this thing too, man. We can see it coming down the pipe, man. All right, we have 14.
Con. Could somebody get me Zechariah 14 and 12?
I got it. I was holding it.
Con, and then somebody get me Isaiah 34. Read 1 down to verse 6, and then we'll close it out in that back in that Revelation 19. Baba
I
Kashab.
got you.
Con.
34.
Zechariah 14. Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Like the brother Kaya brought out, that's that nuclear missiles melting the elements with fervent heat, burning the people up completely. An example the brothers always bring up is Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, when she's grabbing onto the fence and that fire hits her, and you see her skin and everything rip off, and you just see a skeleton left, and she was standing, her eyes consumed out of her holes while she was on her feet.
Yeah, because that fat man and little boy can leave the shadows of certain Moabites and shit over there on the walls. Imagine what a nuclear missile can do, man. It'd be like a magic trick, man. One minute you see him, the next minute you don't, man. Same thing with Yahawashi. When he come back, it says that he gonna hit certain army troops with those missiles. It says nothing gonna be perceived, man, but dust and smoke, man. So man, 1 minute you're gonna see the nigga, the next minute he's gonna be gone. There's not gonna even be shoes left of him smoking, man. He's just gonna vaporize.
Hey,
I don't know. I guess Jake think the nuclear missiles is like 200 degrees or some shit you put on your stove, man. This shit is over 1 million degrees Fahrenheit, man. Yeah, 1 million degrees Fahrenheit, man. That's concentrated heat right there, man.
That's dangerous right there.
Hey, those laser beams from the chariots are even hotter than that.
Yes, Lord.
For real.
That's that nuclear fire on the right hand side. But there's that precept you always like to bring out, Elder, in 2nd Ezra 16. Who shall stand against the Most High and not be utterly beaten to powder?
Yeah, man. That's one of my favorites right there.
But Isaiah 34.
The Lord gonna give you a cremation without even having to pay for it, man. You're just gonna get cremated while you stand up on your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, without no urn either, man. You're just gonna put your shit on the ground. Now imagine that, man. Go ahead, Al.
You say Isaiah 34 and what verse?
Start at verse 1 and go down to verse 6.
All right. Isaiah 34 and 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear in the hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it.
Hey, and all these nations coming near are these nations being gathered down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, that Middle Eastern region. That's why you see all those tensions going on in Syria with the Syrian civil war, that shit going on with those gutter rats in Israel against Palestine, and of course the U.S. or Israel and the U.S. fomenting for war with Iran, which is the main fireworks we're waiting to pop off.
It says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all the armies. He had utterly destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter.
Keep going.
Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Hey, those bodies beaten as dung upon the earth.
Just ain't the same thing Kaya said, man. This world gonna smell like pure ass, man. You know, everywhere you go.
God.
You know? And it's gonna be blood. Going back to what the elder said, high as the horse's bridle. You know?
Hey man, if you can have Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, you can be down there, what, 20, 40 minutes out, or 20 minutes out, 30 minutes out, outside the city, you can smell of dead in the air. Imagine in that day, man. Imagine that day, because, you know, it ain't going to be no fresh air nowhere, man. You're going to have dead bodies literally like dung, man. Like the scripture said in Zephaniah, you're going to stumble over dead people, man, in that day. That's how bad it's going to be out here. All right, you ain't going to have Frank Mignon out here picking up bodies, man. That's what they call the coroner out here, Frank Mignon. He ain't gonna somebody have to pick Frank Mignon up, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have dead bodies everywhere, man. This gonna be gruesome. It's gonna be whatever word you can think or comprehend, the being super nasty, man. That's what it's gonna be out here, man. It's gonna stink. If I don't know if certain people ever smelled a dead body before, man. That shit stop your nose up, man. Some strong shit. You got flies and shit, man. Big ass flies too, man. And it just is what it is. The Lord, hey man, the greatest horror film is finna be filmed, man. You can what the guy name is? Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King.
He gonna make him seem like fucking Steve Urkel, man. For the film out here, man.
Hey, Stephen King's gonna be a character in the Most High's horror movie.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, because the Lord, we say that with all understanding that we know that the Lord is the Most High Himself is the great producer, man, of this movie called Life. And he got all his actors in play, man. All his little, we kind of like little toys to him, man. Which we are. He controls us, man. So everybody's in place for him to do his thing, man.
That's right.
He gonna get nasty, man. Arms coming off. Remember how you do your little toy, man? You might have WWE, man. You take your gloves off, take your shoes off, and you might pop an arm off and shit. Well, the Lord's gonna do that, man. To certain people. Hey, some brothers was, I know some brothers was destructive, man. You might have like a little toy on fire and shit, throw them in water. You know what I'm saying? Put them in the damn toilet or what they call that damn thing? That in the sink, man. The food dispensary thing.
Put a firecracker on them.
Yeah, man. Hey, you do what you want. You know what I'm saying? The Most High gonna do that, man.
Put a magnifying glass up to it, burn it, melt it. That's what the Lord's gonna do.
Yeah, man.
Hey, it's like that. I'm sure some of you brothers have played that video game, Civilization or The Sims, where it's like a bird's eye view, and you can like create and move people around and go to war with other countries and stuff like that. That's how we are to the Most High.
Yeah, some old school. I know y'all brothers remember them old school games with the little soldiers in the tanks. You be looking like kind of upward. You build up your little town, and then you go conquering other people's shit, man. Doing what you want.
Yeah, I got a little slocky.
That's that regular Nintendo days, man. I know some of y'all don't know about that.
I got a little precept for what y'all speaking on. This Ecclesiastes 10:1 is from the brother Kaya. Ecclesiastes 10:1, it said dead flies cause. You about to say something?
You fell out or something?
He sent it to me. It said Ecclesiastes 10:1. It said dead flies cause the ornaments of the apathy, correct? If I'm saying that right, probably not. Apothecary to send forth a stinking savior. So do it a little folly in him that is in the reputation for wisdom and honor.
Gone.
Yeah. I'll go back to this Isaiah. Isaiah 34:4. It says, "In all the hosts of the heavens," and I just wanted to make a point. Of course, the point in it was that stinking savior on the ornament. The fly, like the elder was speaking on about the dead bodies and the big ass flies, basically gonna be swarming around the carcass.
Yeah, man. Animals and shit. You're gonna see animals devouring dead carcasses and shit. Dogs, birds, you name it, man. Then we down here. Hey man, we down here with fucking alligators and shit. So a lot of that shit gonna come on the land, man. feasting. You know?
That's right. It says Isaiah 34 and 4. It says, and all the hosts of the heavens shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf fallen off from the vine, as of a falling, as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Hey, all going back to leaves falling off the vine, the grape of the cluster, the wine of the wrath of his destruction. It's all spiritual. Everything plays into each other, precept upon precept. And then the I don't want to paraphrase it. The heavens being rolled together as a scroll is that mushroom cloud billowing up and rolling into itself.
Right. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my cursed judgment.
Hey, again, that vesture dipped in blood. Who is this that cometh from Idumea in Basra with his garments that look like he's tread the wine in the wine press? Yahawashi ultimately coming to bring that mass death and destruction.
Right. It says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord had a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Hey, all you hear again is Idumea, Basra, Edom, Idumea, Basra, Edom, being that great sacrifice to bring in the kingdom of heaven. So you Edomites, the Most High makes it crystal clear that you're the people of his curse, and you're one of the main targets he's coming after once he cracks those clouds.
Say, I read verse 8 real quick, Baba Gusha.
No problem. This is Isaiah 34 and 8. It says, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of the Zion.
Right. So how could Esau be done away with if the day of the Lord is going to have a sword come down upon Idumea? The great judgment of the final judgment, the second coming of Yahawashi, comes with the destruction of the Edomites. So anybody telling you that they were all done away with, or the white man is Japhet, all you have to do is read prophecies, man. So that's it on that. You want the Revelation?
And we'll click that with that.
This Revelation 19, verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped. Actually, we got some good ones on the comment board. The brother Samakia had one, and also
all right, bring them out.
Yeah, this one from Samakia. It's Jeremiah 51 and 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it.
Yeah, beautiful. Again, the Medes disregarding gold and silver and dashing the young men to pieces with the bow.
God. There's another good one here. I can't find it. This back in Revelation 19, verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Hey, Michael and his angels against the dragon and his angels. Not only is Yahawashi going to be in that massive fathership chariot, but there are going to be many other chariots with angels in it coming and taking pot shots at you people on the earth.
God. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahweh.
Hey, the winepress of his destruction. Again, the blood as high as the horse's bridle for those thousands of furlongs. And as you said earlier, Amawad, not only is Yahawashi going to rule these nations with the rod of iron, but the elect are going to be joint heirs. So we're going to rule them with that rod of iron as well.
Ooh. God.
And so to tie it all back to the beginning of the lesson, Yahawashi is not coming with a bouquet of roses. He's coming with death, destruction, and cruel, unmerciless violence on the people for your wickedness, chiefly the Edomites and 2/3 of you hard-headed Israelites who refuse to return under your power, Yahawashi. Any other brothers had a point they wanted to make before we close out?
Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I wanted you to elaborate on those dead flies and the apocryphy that come up from it with that stinky savior. But it passed up. Phone was tripping, man. So we could get out of there, brothers. Point made.
Khan. So with this Shabbat lesson, we hope you sincere Akim were edified. And as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, putting this truth to the four corners of the globe. Shabbat Shalawam.
Shalawam.
Kwam Yasharala. Shalawam.
Oh.